Using it and expire and alter itself.
One second. Mute all these people here. And okay. Yes. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavadpadam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Suprabhashyakrito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। त्यक्त्वैषणात्रयमवेक्षितमोक्षमार्गाः त्यक्त्वैषणात्रयमवेक्षितमोक्षमार्गाः भैक्षामृतेन परिकल्पितदेहयात्राः भैक्षामृतेन परिकल्पितदेहयात्राः ज्योतिः परात् परतरं परमात्मसंज्ञम् ज्योतिः परात् परतरं परमात्मसंज्ञम् धन्याद्विजारहसि हृद्यवलोकयन्ति धन्याद्विजारहसि हृद्यवलोकयन्ति। First two lines we saw, and we have seen the three kinds of eshanas. These three eshanas are the gamut of all activities in the universe. So every activity that one does and whatever one either does or does not do, both pravritti based activities and nivritti based activities are what? Are based on these three eshanas. These three eshanas is universal, not just in India or not just with a particular group of people. It's universal. Universal eshanas. Everybody wants this. Everybody wants to have something or the other, and that is these three things. What are these three things? Vittaishana. Vittaishana, Putraishana, Lokaishana. So, Lokaishana, wanderlust, to have some experience or the other, and then if that is not healed, and somehow because of Purva Punya one comes to the ashram, here also one will be ashram hopping, guru shopping, and keep on going from one person to another, one place to another, because there is some spiritual experience that one is wanting and one is fond of and one is trying to get at. And so this is Lokaishana. Putraishana we saw. Putraishana means some kind of somebody I need to listen to me and carry out all my desires. I need somebody like that all the time, even if it's a pet dog. And so this is Putraishana. And then Vittaishana, everybody knows what is that? The desire to have lots and lots of money, resources. Wanting to go after resources. And this is what is the thing. So these people have tyaktva, given up all that. And then why have they given all that? Because their sights are set on a different goal. Because these three goals make you go goal, meaning round and round. It is of no use at all to have this kind of a goal. Because I want to have children. Well, what will you do with them? After a while they are not going to. And what are you going to do with them? After a while, correct? And then they'll have their own lives. And they will, they will fly the coop. They will fly the nest. And you can't hold on to them. They will not allow it also. That's another good thing. They will just say no more. I'm not an extension of you. They will tell you that when they hit 13. Yeah. When you tell them, are you going to come out with me dressed like that? They will say, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, because I'm not an extension of you. And what are they wearing? Holy jeans. Yeah. More holes than fabric. Yeah. And then some parts are threadbare. And they are called distressed jeans. And then it's a displacement. It's the parents that are distressed, not the jeans. Jeans are jada. Jeans cannot be distressed. Parents are distressed when the children wear these threadbare jeans with holes, and the t-shirt also has holes. I've never understood this. That's what, yeah. And so, are you coming out dressed like this? Absolutely, they will say. And so like this, the children are not going to, even though there is a feeling that they are going to take care of me in my later years, that may or may not happen. And also we cannot have children with the idea that they are, this is you are my investment. You can't do that. They are their own beings. And so, Putraishana, big cross on it, okay? And Vittaishana also. What kind of a thing is this wealth that has to be protected from itself? And that is called inflation. How much is enough? And how much should I hoard in order to be happy? How much should I hoard in order to have what is needed for the rest of my life? First of all, do you know how long you are going to live? Say no, so we can move on, okay? And you don't know how long you are going to live. And you don't know how much money you are going to need. And neither can you predict in 50 years from now, 40 years from now, 30 years from now, what is going to be the level of inflation. You cannot predict. And therefore what? The best retirement plan is to become a dhanya. When? Right now. Yes. The best retirement plan is to become a dhanya. Totally become a dhanya. And then there is no need to bother with all these things. So what do you mean become a dhanya? Work on yourself and then let go of these desires and make, instead of trying to see how to fulfill all these endless desires that I have, that is one option. And the other option is to trim the desires down and become a minimalist. Happy minimalist, not a forced, tortured minimalist. Become a happy minimalist, train yourself to need less, and then that is the best retirement plan. And the journey becomes very easy. The journey to moksha, avekshita, so their sights are set on the truth of themselves. Avekshita moksha margaha, they are those who have tasted or seen what is at the end of the road, which is the truth of themselves. And then what is that? That is that is going to be described in the next 2 lines in a very beautiful way. So therefore they pack. How do they pack? How to pack for moksha? How to pack for the road of moksha? What will I take with me? Should I take books? Should I take gadgets? Should I take food? And if I take food, how long will it take? How much food should I take? No. No need to this thing. So, what is this Deha Yatra? This journey of this body, mind, sense complex will go on, and then we have to trust that food will come, money will come, everything will come. We can do small, small little experiments and try and in this trust. Because you see, when you were born, you didn't tell yourself, here I'm very nice and cozy and I'm fed through the umbilical cord. When I'm born, the umbilical cord will be cut. Where will I get my food? Oh no. Does the baby think like that? No. Better pack some sandwiches. No. Or at least a feeding bottle. No. And now when I'm outside, I'll need to breathe. Should I get an oxygen tank? Will there be air? Nobody thinks like that. The baby is born utterly helpless, not just the human baby. The human baby is the most helpless of all, but all the babies are born like that. You see, nowadays they have a camera on everything. Kitten cam. You see the kittens being born. Giraffe cam. Polar bear cam. All these things. And you look into the cam, and then the giraffe is born. Somebody sent me this. This baby giraffe is born, and it doesn't have any GPS. It makes its way to the mother's milk all by itself. It's just given. It's just given. Food is there. We need food, food is there. We need water, water is there. And what is the reason for this worry? The dhanya and the non-dhanya, there's only one small difference. They don't think about, let me plan for the rest of everything. Let me pack and plan and plan and pack and pack and plan. And then after that, what? It's just what's the word for it? Stressful life. So it's a stress-free life. And then what is this moksha marga? What is at the end of the moksha marga is beautifully described. Parat parataram jyotihi paramatma samyam Bhagavan. This Bhagavan is in the form of light. This again is a metaphor, okay? Don't look for some light somewhere. And when I meditate, I should have blue light, yellow light, green light, all these things don't do. That is not the idea. But since it reveals everything, this consciousness is revealing everything, including one's ignorance. It is often likened to light because it lights up everything, like the sun. And itself doesn't need to be lit up. That's why it's called Parat Parataram. That light which doesn't need to be lighted up by anything, any other source. That Parat Parataram, and what is that? Paramatma Samyam. Samyam means that which is known as what? Ishvara. That Ishvara which is where? In one's own heart. In the heart itself there is Bhagavan in the form of the light of all lights. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. And when this light shines, every other light it reveals. And it doesn't need a light to reveal itself. Self-revealing Atma, this I, that answers the question, are you here? What do you say? Yes. You can't say no, because even if you say no, what are you saying? Yes. You are revealing yourself. It's like a child hiding behind the door and saying, don't look here, I'm not here. That means what? You are here. So therefore, this Parat Parataram Paramatma Sanyam Jyotihi. Jyotis, neuter. Okay. Even though a lot of women in India are named Jyotihi, it is actually a neuter now. Jyotis. And then, so this Bhagavan, which is in one's own heart, Dhanyaha Avalokayanti. They have darshan, avalokayanti. How do they have darshan? Because the Eshanas was the forest, the thick forest and the thick eclipse that was inhibiting this darshan of oneself, Atma Darshanam. It was inhibiting that because it's like an eclipse. And this is what comes in the Dakshinamurti Stotram also. Rahugrastha divakarendu sadrisho maya samachhadanat sanmatrah karanopasamharanato yo bhut sushuptah puman. So this person is sleeping to the glory of one's own nature. Why? Because like the sun or the moon caught, grasta, by who? Rahu. That's who. Who is Rahu? The unconscious mind is Rahu. Even in the story, how Rahu formed, it's Rahu Ketu. They are the unconscious mind. So the unconscious mind with all its vasanatrayas, eshanatraya and all other vasanas, it is a big thicket, a thick forest, or you can say, or a thick eclipse, which as though covers the sun from itself, which as though covers the light of one's own self from oneself. Mind you, there is as though. And so just like in the eclipse, when the disk of the earth comes on the sun, what happens there? There is a small little place where you can see, it's called a diamond ring. Even in the total solar eclipse, there is a diamond ring. There is a kind of a ring with a little place where the light is going. It looks like a big diamond ring in the sky. And even in the total solar eclipse, it is there. And so here too, even though one is totally achadita, covered as it were with ignorance, the desire for the Atma, the desire for moksha shines through, seeps through. One can never be away from this light, because that is why there is the yearning. Even though there is complete, what's the word for it? There is complete achadanam, there is a covering. And I can say I am ignorant. But then how can you say you are ignorant? I know I am ignorant. That I know, which is never I don't know, is what? That is that little diamond ring through which this ignorance is also known. That light is so powerful that because of this light, even the ignorance is known. That which makes me aware of the ignorance, which needs to be spirited away, that light of all lights, how can it cover the eye? It as though covers the eye, but then when the eclipse in the form of the Rahu, which eats up the sun, so to speak, which threatens to eat up the sun, is warded off. Rahu is warded off, then what do I have? I have total freedom. That is what it is. Then one becomes a dhanya, and then one has Bhagavat Darshanam. It's not exactly Bhagavat Darshanam, it's their Swatma Darshanam, their own self they delight in, and then Avalokayanti, Hridi Avalokayanti, and Dhanyaha Dvijaha. Dvijaha means born again, not in the Christian sense, okay? Yeah. It's not born again Christian, that's not what we have to look at. Born again in the sense of the knowledge is seen as the knowledge of the Atma is seen as a new birth. Because everything that was here up till now is gone. All the assumptions are gone, all the fears are gone, all the notions are gone, and one is no longer fettered, and one is no longer in the spell of anything, and so therefore the enlightenment itself, the self-knowledge, is a new birth, so to speak. So the first birth was in ignorance, and the second birth is what? Into the glory of who one is. That is the second birth. So dhanyaha, who are they? Dvijaha. Dvihi jayante iti dvijaha. Second time they have been born. They have been born, as it were, they are not really born, as though born to the glory of their own self. So they are born, and what kind of a birth is it? A deathless birth, and an as though birth. and as though birth into jnanam, from the depth of ajnanam to the discovery of themselves. That is what is called birth here. Dhanyaha dvijaha, what are they? Rahasi. Rahasi means in secret. Hridi avalokayanti. In secret, they look into the heart. Oh, Ishvara. Oh, cool, that's Ishvara. Not like that, but in the sense that this knowledge is not something that is advertised. It's not like they go around and say, yippee, I have self-knowledge. And you don't. No, they don't do that. There is nothing to show off. There is nothing to worry about. There is nothing to fear. And there is nothing, finally, to prove. So how are they when they are around people? Generally, they are not around people. We already saw that. They keep looking for solitary places. Or, and then later on it will say, or they hang out with like-minded people, it will say in the 7th verse. But they look for solitary places. And so how is this? So then if they are around people, sometimes they have to be around people. So then how are they when they are around people? When they are around people, they go along with the people. Whatever the people are talking about, they also talk about. We could see this with Pujya Swamiji. Somebody would come, sit with him, and they wanted to talk about the weather. Oh yes, this is true. Nice weather we are having. He would discuss the weather. Somebody else would come and want to discuss cricket. He would discuss cricket. Somebody else would come and say, I want to discuss Jyotish, astrology. And then he would discuss that. And so it's like he had no pressure. You could see that there was no pressure to show off or to say, what? You have come to such a big Mahatma and you want to discuss sports? What's wrong with you? Turn on the TV and watch. Why are you talking about this to me? No. Whatever the people discussed, he would do that. He would go along with that. He would make jokes along with everybody. And many people in the beginning used to come to his classes only for the jokes. What did you get out of this class? Oh, that story. That's what they would do for a long time. And they would never get tired. Same joke. In the next retreat, same joke. In the following retreat, they would laugh the loudest and they would enjoy like anything. And then after class, they would go see him and they would say, Swamiji, that joke, so much fun. And he would tell that joke again, just for them. And then they would laugh all over again. This is, in the Brahma Sutra also, the same thing is said, where the person of knowledge is childlike, not childish. Okay, big difference. Yeah, not childish, childlike. Very easy. Children are easy to be with, generally. And unless they are teething or some problem is there or they are having a stomachache, they are generally very easygoing. And so, here the Dhanya is easygoing. And then what else childlike means? Spontaneous, easygoing, joyful. Not, all tied up in knots. Not completely tied up in knots and completely upset all the time. Joyful. And also not ha joyful. No, it's like in the Bhagavad Gita again, the Atmajnani is compared to an ocean. And what is the ocean? Sometimes it is a roaring ocean. Sometimes it is a quiet ocean. So sometimes if the situation warrants, the jnani would be laughing loudly, or sometimes the joy is more quiet and internal. And so here, rahasi means in secret they enjoy the nectar of their self. They don't need to advertise it, they don't need to talk about it, they don't need to say, you need to get this knowledge right now. There is no pressure. There is no pressure in any way. So secretly they enjoy this knowledge. They will give it to people who ask genuinely and sincerely. And once they have understood that you are committed and you really want to know, then they will share. Otherwise, there is no pressure to share. Besides, the Upanishad also says, if you don't want to, if you don't give this knowledge unless people ask for it. And then, unless they have some qualifications and then they are asking for it, don't give this knowledge. So the jnani is just happy in themselves, by themselves, without any pressure to share this knowledge. This is the idea. 6th verse. There is a typo in the 6th verse. First line, the sa, make the sa, cut out the sa. Cut out the sa there. Mahasan, no. Mahannachanu. I don't know how it is in the transliteration, and I don't know if you are looking at the same text also. Is that okay there?
It's okay.
It's okay there. Yeah. Okay. All right. Never mind. Ignore. Yeah. Yeah. So here in my Devanagari there is a typo. Na sanna san, na sanna sanna, na sanna sanna, sada sanna, sada sanna, mahanna chano, mahanna chano, na sanna sanna, sada sanna, mahanna chano, na sanna sanna, sada sanna, mahanna chano. न स्त्री पुमान् न च नपुंसकमेकबीजम् You manage, not bad. न स्त्री पुमान् न च नपुंसकमेकबीजम् यैर्ब्रह्म तत्समुपासितमेकचित्तैः धन्या विरेजुरितरे भवपाशबद्धाः. Together. Let's dare to do it together. Na sanna sanna sada sanna mahanna jano, na stri pumanna jana punsakameka bijam, yair brahma tat samupasitameka chittaihi, dhanya vire juritare bhavapashabadhaha. Okay, so this 6th verse, the first two lines do not talk about the dhanya, but they talk about the nature of this knowledge. And the nature of, not the knowledge, but the nature of Brahman. What is this Brahman? It is talked about. And then what is that? Na sat, na asat, first of all. Na asat, meaning Brahman is not non-existent. Agreed? Very good, this we know. Yeah. And then, na sat. Here we have a problem. Na sat means what? Not existent either. Ayyo. All the things that I studied in the retreat thus far. Sat Chit Ananda, Satyam Jnanam Anantam. I rocked back and forth and memorized all of these things. And now you are telling me what? It is not Sat, existent. here we have to little caveat so that I can put people out of the suspense. So here a little caveat. What is the thing here? Sat and Asat are in the relative sense of objects. Existence of objects, non-existence of objects. Is Brahman an object? No. Is Brahman is Brahman a non-existent? Shunya? No. That's all you have to take. Don't overthink this, okay? Is Brahman existent as an object? No. Therefore, is that Brahman totally non-existent? No. That's what you have to say of Sat and Asat, or Asat and Sat. Because this is a shloka, the verse tries to overcome the dyads. Everything is a dyad. What is the dyad? Hot, cold. Sukha, dukkha. And then what else? Object, existent, non-existent. Another dyad. And like this we can keep on looking for dyads. The whole Jagat is full of dyads. True, false, another dyad. And if Brahman is also caught up in this dyad, then it is not Brahman, because it has its oppositional something other than it is there. So that which is called Brahman, the nature of this Jyoti, the nature of this self, has to transcend both what? Has to transcend all the dyads. Has to transcend even one more dyad, but maybe it's a triad, past and future. Past, present, future. Another dyad / triad. It has to transcend all of them. It cannot have this. It cannot have this belonging to one thing, because if it belongs to one thing, or if it has one particular property, then it will suffer from not having the opposite of it. And if it doesn't have the opposite of that, like if you say Brahman is all Sukha, which again, Sukha means here worldly Sukha is being talked about. If Brahman is all Sukha, then what about Dukkha? Correct? Then we are in a quandary. What about Dukkha? If Brahman is Sukha, then who does Dukkha belong to? Then we have to bring one devil or evil or something like that. We have to make some explanation. Here we don't have that. Oh, but you have asuras. Our asuras are devotees gone wrong. That is what our asuras are. We don't have asura. We don't have a devil. Asura means what? Asushu ramante. That's what. The one who, at the cost of everything, only revels in the objects, sense objects. That's what it is. Asura. They were all devotees. Hiranyakashipu was a big devotee. And then what happened? Then he thought, I am God, but not in a nice way. Here we are teaching that in a nice way. After negating everything and satyam mithya, after negating the personality, falsifying the doer, everything, then we are saying that where that I is no longer there, that there is only sarvatma bhava, and all that is here is Ishvara, we are saying. But there it is, sometimes the steps are skipped. And then you have some kind of a new age philosophy. And what is this new age philosophy? I am God. Okay, great. But then what happens? But how come I am not being able to manifest wealth? Well, if you are God, you need not manifest wealth, because everything belongs to you. That part is not understood. That part is not understood. So therefore here, this is like some kind of a half-baked thing. That is why we have these asuras. But really, that which is called God, that which is called Ishvara, has to transcend every single thing. Has to transcend. Has to go beyond. And this is very evident in the question Nachiketa asks Lord Yama. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat. One more dyad. Dharma, adharma. Anyatra asmat, kritat, akritat. Another dyad. Cause, effect. Anyatra bhutacha, bhavyatcha. That which is beyond past and future, and there is one more extra chakara to denote the present, which is beyond time. Yat tat pashyasi tad me vada, tan me vada. Tell me what that which you see, which is beyond dharma and adharma. This is very, very important. Because if you say, oh, God is dharmic, then where did adharma come from? God is good. Okay, where all the bad things came from? This is most of the theologies, cannot deal with it. They don't know what to do with it. God is all good. Okay, then why am I having this problem? Why did I get robbed? Why are there, why are there all kinds of unsavory elements in the universe? Anacondas, pythons, so many things, and volcanoes, tsunamis. Why does this happen? There is no explanation. The followers become frustrated because of this. This is a very big thing here. And here we don't say God, God is dharmic. If we say that, it's a setup. Because where did adharma come from? So we have to say it in a different way. That which we call dharma and that which we call adharma, both are not outside of Bhagavan. But Bhagavan transcends both. Just like, the pot and the clay. From the standpoint of the pot, clay is intrinsic to the pot, yes?
Yes.
No clay, no pot. But from the standpoint of the clay, the pot is an incidental expression of clay. Dharma is an incidental expression of Bhagavan, and adharma cannot be outside of that which we call Brahman, Ishvara, Bhagavan, limitless. This is very important to know. And the same Kathopanishad is later going to say, Matva dhiraha, matva dhiro, harsha shokau jahati. Transcends both harsha. What is harsha? Happiness. And what is shoka? Sorrow, sadness. Both of them are transcended by who? Dhira. Dhira is another name for Dhanya. By the person who knows, then this Vishaya Sukha means the Sukha gained out of contact with objects, and the Dukkha also gained either through contact with objects or through separation from objects. So that Sukha and Dukkha are what? They are incidental expressions of the Atma. And what is the nature of the Atma? Neither Sukha nor Dukkha. But you say it is Ananda, that's different. That Ananda which upholds the Dukkha, that is what it is. It is not away from the Sukha that you know. You cannot say that it's some other special Sukha. This is one more problem. This is our own problem, saying that it is a special experience. And they do all this, some kind of thing. They'll say, when the knower of Brahman, you get some kind of a thing happening here, and then the nectar of immortality drips. Not outside, inside. And then you taste it at the back of the throat. Please take yourself to the hospital if that happens. Could be some cerebrospinal, fluid or something like that. Don't take that as a sign of Atmajnanam. Yeah. Atmajnanam has no signs, no signage. It's in the Brahma Sutra, Atmajnanam, it is the road to Atmajnanam, the path or the flight of Atmajnanam is like the trace left by the bird flying from point A to point B. You see a sign there? No. And so here also, the dyads are samsara, freedom from the dyads, freedom from identifying with the dyads. Freedom from dyads means where are you going to go? Wherever you go, there will be a dyad. But I am dead to the dyads. I am not noticing them. That is freedom. That is moksha. That is liberation. I am not buying into these dyads. The dyads come and go, and I am not dependent on the dyad, and the two aspects of this dyad I am not dependent on. When there is dharma, I am happy. When there is adharma, I am sad. This is not moksha. Wherever there is dharma, what will there be? Adharma will be there. The shadow side will be there. Wherever there is adharma, dharma will be there. Wherever there is future, past will be there. Wherever there is present, the past and the future will be there. Wherever sukha is there, dukkha is there. This is the jagat. The whole jagat is full of dyads. Caught in these dyads, and the dyad is what? Dyad is Maya Shakti. Everything is split into two. Even Sanskrit grammar, aham, avam, vayam. Two is there. That two is a nod to Maya Shakti. That's why we have the dual in Sanskrit grammar. It's very beautiful. It's a nod to Maya Shakti. And so, this two, and then what do I want? Advaita, one. How are you going to do this? No, I'll mix up a little bit of sukha, like this, and then little bit of dukkha. And then I'll shake it. Karma cocktail. But that's what you're drinking anyway. That's what the jiva is drinking. Karma cocktail, a little bit of papa, lot of papa, little bit of punya. That is what it is. He is addicted to this cocktail. This is what the Kathopanishad again says. Ritam pibantau sukrutasya loke guham pravishtav parame parardhe chaya tapau brahmavido vadanti. Very beautiful. Two fellows are seen in a cave. They went inside a cave. Not nice. They went to meditate. No such thing. Some other gadbad is there. Some other activity is there. What is that? They went to have a drink. Both of them are drinking? It appears that both of them are drinking, but only one is drinking. The other one is just watching. But poor non-drinker, the poor teetotaler, is also roped in as a drinker because it appears like that. They both are in the same place, same location. Everybody thinks both are drinking. But the Brahmavid, who is the Brahmavid? Dhanya, the knower of Brahman, knows that one is the light, the other is a mere shadow. It's a shadow gone rogue, a shady jiva. Shaded jiva. And what is this jiva doing? Jiva is hoarding. Jiva is drinking. Karmaphala cocktail. Who is the bartender? Chitragupta. Yes. Chitragupta, Ishvara in the form of the one who gives karmaphala is the bartender. And then what does the jiva want? Sweet. The drink to taste sweet. But all the other rotten smells and tastes come. Little bit of sweet comes. This is called intermittent reinforcement. Yes. Because otherwise you will throw, it's completely bitter. You will throw away the drink and immediately go for Atmajnanam. I don't want this. I want out. But one is finding samsara still attractive. Why? Because of this intermittent reinforcement. This is how when the spies are captured and in the war and all, this is what they do. They do intermittent reinforcement. This is a form of torture, really. And so here also, little bit of sweet taste comes and then I completely go and identify with that sweet taste and life is looking good and, fire upon my enemies and now nobody can catch me, I'm the best east or west. Oh no, what happened? When I celebrated, I got a catch on the side. In and out, back and forth. Up and down, this is the life because I identify with the karma phala, I identify with the karma, and I think I'm generating karma phala, even though the Bhagavad Gita clearly says, what does it say? It says, Karmani eva adhikarahate ma phaleshu kadachana. You only generate karma, you cannot generate karma phala. Karma phala is in the hands of Bhagavan. You do the karma, leave the rest to me. Bhagavan says that, but I don't understand this. And what do? I completely am addicted to this life of sorrow. Because in between, some joys are there. Otherwise, nobody will sit in samsara. Who will sit and marinate in samsara if it is not sweet once in a while? It is sweet. That's why it is confusing. It has some sweet moments and then there is a terrible loss. It has some wonderful moments of union and then there is a terrible separation. And then it has some sweet moments of happiness and then sorrow befalls. And then the whole thing goes round and round and round. And then there is no goal. I too go round and round and round. And then there is this block, and so therefore therefore we have to see that it is beyond this Brahman that I want to understand. That is the truth of myself, is beyond all opposites, beyond all dyads. That's what Nachiketa says. Don't tell me about dharma. Don't tell me about adharma and the conflicts between the two. Devas and asuras will be fighting all the time. Don't talk to me about that. And then what else? Don't talk to me also about cause and effect. Why? Because it's endless. So pot is effect. What is the cause? Clay is the cause. Then clay becomes effect. Molecules become the cause. Earth becomes the cause. Earth is the effect. Molecules become the cause. Molecules are the effect. Atom becomes the cause. Like this, where is the end? So don't tell me this cause-effect dyad, and then don't tell me that which is trapped always in the matrix of space and time. Tell me that which is free of all this. And here is what is the answer to Nachiketa's question is right here. And so, the Sat, that which is an object, Sat here should be taken as object. Na Asat. And here also in the Shastra, there is a lot of discussion. This is called Khyati Vada, Sat Khyati, Asat Khyati, Sadasat Khyati. And then Anirvachaniya Khyati, all these things are there. But anyhow, we are not going to go into that. We are now just looking at this verse and seeing that it is neither Sat, nor it is not an existent object, neither it is non-existent, zero, Shunya. It's not Sat, it is not Asat. Asat, na Asat. And then it's not, then let us all get along. Some people are like that. They don't like conflict. They are conflict averse. They want everybody to get along. Let all the darshanas, all the matas, all the viewpoints come together. Group hug. And what is the group hug here? Little bit of Sat, little bit of Asat. Why not? Yeah. Why can't we all get along? Let's say Brahman is sometimes existent because so you can see it as a flash, Yeah, and they'll read the Kenopanishad badly. Vidyuto, Vidyuta, it is there. It's like a flash of lightning. Now you see it, now you don't. And then, oh, this is Brahman. Suddenly I had a flash of Brahman. It was there, then it is not there. Sat plus what? Asat. Let's all get along. Let's just sort of agree that it's if it's neither Sat nor Asat, perhaps it is what? A little bit of both Sat and Asat. And what does it say? Na. That's why there are so many nas. You can't have enough nas in this verse. Na, 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 na. Okay? So, na Sat, na Asat. And then, okay, I know. The word Brahman means what? Big. Limitlessly big. Big Brahman. Mahat. Mahat means what? Big. This is a big Brahman, it's a big deal. It must be very huge, huger than the hugest. Nah. Why? Because if Brahman is big, then what about the small thing? Anything that is, if Brahman is mountain, what about the mustard seed? Huh? Mustard seed is Brahman or what? That is also Brahman. Mustard seed is Brahman, mountain is Brahman. So what size is really Brahman? Please tell me. No size. Free of spatial limitations, all pervasive, that's what it means. Na mahat, na cha anu. Anu means atomic. Its size is not atomic. Its size is not colossal, huge, gigantic. No. Ginormous, the young people will say. A combination of gigantic and enormous. It's not. Anoho aniyan mahato mahiyan. Today we are just into Kathopanishad fully. Anoho aniyan mahato mahiyan. Atma asya jantoho nihitam guhayam. Tam akratuhu pashyati pitashokah dhatu prasadat mahimanam atmanah. Beautiful verse. It's smaller than the smallest. Oh, then I need a microscope to see Brahman. No, it is bigger than the biggest. Telescope? No, no scope. There is no scope for any scope. Okay, because it is not an object. It is you. You have to be totally scopeless. And then only you understand what this Brahman is. And where is this Brahman? Nihito guhayam. It is right here, hidden in the cave of the buddhi. The buddhi is likened to a cave because there are many similarities. Cave is dark, and until the knowledge comes, buddhi is what? Dark. Cave is damp, buddhi is depressed, also damp. Cave has bats circling around, buddhi has various notions, doubts, despair, everything. Cave has stalactites and stalagmites, and then the buddhi also has various kinds of growths in it. I must be good, I must be bad, I'm an idiot, this is not good, this is okay. All these notions and growths. And then what? This is why buddhi is likened to a cave. This is how our temples are also made. Inside especially South Indian temples, there is no light at all. It's all dark. And the wall behind the murti is what? Dark, completely dark. The murti itself is what? Monolith, black granite stone. So you don't have to enter the temple. People behind you will make sure that you have entered. Then you go stand there blinking because outside it was bright. Inside now your eyes are getting adjusted. And there'll be, one small light flickering. You're in Madurai Meenakshi temple and you don't know what the goddess is wearing. How is she dressed? Oh, I've heard she's very beautiful. Can't wait to see her, but you can't see anything. One small dim light. Pujari is there. Being from South India, he's also dark. You can't see him also. Nothing you can see. And then he says here, have darshan. One camphor lamp is just dipped into that little light that is there already, and then the whole goddess is lit up. Then you go, wonderful. This is what is happening inside. That's why we say camphor light, not a candle, because the candle leaves residue. The camphor light is the light of the Shastra, which spirits away Atma Ajnanam without any residue. Spirits away everything. And then what remains is that the goddess's glory is your own glory. You discover that glory. And so, na mahat, na cha anu, it's not big, it is not small. And where is it? Nihitam guhayam, we saw that in the previous verse. And even in the Kathopanishad verse, same thing. Tam pashyati. Here also, Hridi avalokayanti dhanyaha. Just go back to the last line of the last verse. And then the Kathopanishad attests to the same thing. Idi pashya avalokhayanti tam akratuhu guhayam pashyati. Akratuhu means sannyasi. Kratuhu na vidyate yasya. The one who is not doing rituals. And who is this? Vita shokaha, free of all sorrow, free of the dyad of happiness, sorrow. Dhatu prasadat, this Guru anugrahat, because of the many other meanings are there, but we won't go into that now. Guru anugrahat, because of the anugraha of the Guru, gains this teaching. What is the teaching? Atmanam mahima, the glory of oneself, one understands. And so here also it is not anu, it is not mahat. Okay, tell me, is it a man or a woman? Na stri, na puman. Okay, neuter. Brahma, brahmani, brahmani, neuter word. Na napunsakam eva. Napunsakam. It's not female, it's not male, and it is not neuter. And it transcends gender. Don't say it's transgender, because that's another category. Yeah, that's another category. Yeah, that's one more category it has become. It transcends the need for gender. It is free of gender. Gender is another dyad, triad, whatever it is. And then, but this transcends all gender. There is nothing to do with gender. And then what do we have? It is ekabijam, means it is a latent power. That's why we know we are talking of Ishvara, Brahman as Ishvara, the latent power that has given rise to this entire universe. This is what Brahman is. And then what? Yaihi Brahma tat samupasitam, the one who have gained this Brahman through all Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. That is what is called Samupasana. Always contemplating upon this Brahman, by whom this Brahman is gained. Gained as what? As an object? No, as oneself. Gained as oneself. They are abiding in which they are gained as oneself. And then how? Ekachittaihi. That's why they removed themselves from malls and movies and everything else. And they were completely focused on Brahman alone. Ekachittaihi yaihi samupasitam. And who are they? Dhanyaha. Virejuhu, from Raj to shine. Virejuhu, they keep shining. They shine in the knowledge. There is something called Brahma Varchas. Somehow they shine, meaning they delight in this knowledge and they are a source of blessing for all. And then what happens? Itare means Sheshaha. We saw in the first line, Sheshaha, what is that? Nilaye. What kind of Nilaye? Brahma Nilaye, not Brahma Nilaye. Here this is Brahma Nilaye. And then the Sheshaha, Itare, Paribhramanti, what happens? Bhavapasha Baddhaha. Baddhaha, they are bound. How are they bound? They are bound by the ropes. Pasha means rope. What kind of ropes? Bhavapasha, the ropes of becoming. What is the rope of becoming? Ropes of some sorrow or the other, which is called samsara. Bhavapasha. So rope of becoming. That's why people say, I need to know the ropes. Yeah, this is how it is. One gets bound like this. So what is this rope of becoming? The rope of becoming, the bondage of becoming something or the other. First you become acceptable to somebody, and then you are worried that you are not acceptable to somebody else. Then you become rich, thinking that you will be acceptable to everybody, and then that is not acceptable. People, in fact, are more upset that you are rich, so they don't accept you at all. And then what? Then you say, I am going to become famous. And then what happens? Then also no this thing, no problem at all, because you cannot become famous. Then also there is a issue. Why? Prarabdha will not allow you to become famous. You are just famous around family members, 4 or 5 people. That's all you are famous around. You are only well known in your family. Prarabdha will not allow you to become like some Elon Musk or somebody very, very famous, or even Dalai Lama or anybody like that. And so then then one says, okay, I have to change my prarabdha. What will you do? I will do this homa, Sudarshana homa, and then what is that? Vashikarana homa. Terrible homa. I mean, what is this? It is how to control people. And then it's a Ganesha mantra also they will put. Varada Vasham me Anaya Swaha. Janan me Vasham Anaya. Bring everyone in my control so that I will become famous. Only one problem. The effects of the yajna wear off. Yeah. They are like the magic saris. You know what are the magic saris? Draupadi was stripped of her sari. Dushasana tried to strip Draupadi of her sari. Draupadi prayed to Lord Krishna and said, you are watching this? And you're going to allow this to happen in a full assembly of men? And then Lord Krishna gave magic saris, so that each time one sari was removed, then this Dushasana was confronted with another. She was draped in a beautiful sari. One more beautiful sari. Like this, so many saris. And poor fellow had to sit down because he had repetitive stress injury on both the shoulders. He was no good at all. He had to just shut up and sit down. And then, you know, the Kauravas, they have a certain strange way. They don't want to say, we are defeated. So even out of this defeat, they said, oh, at least we got a heap of saris. And he called the whole harem. Harem, is that what it is? You know, the queens. All the queens, the kings and all, they get married multiple times. So 300 women came and they wore these saris, and after a while what happened? Magic saris, they disappeared. Now who is disrobed in public? Sad for the women, but this is like some kind of a poetic justice here. So therefore, why did this whole topic of magic saris come up? Shackles bhavapasha baddha. So these are all, they are not really, they are like this magic knowledge takes away all these pashas. The pashas are like the saris, they just drop. They just drop when you say, I'm not going to buy into this. And so until then, what is there? Until then we have the feeling that I have to become this, I have to become that, I have to become famous, I have to become rich, I have to become acceptable, I have to become approvable to myself and others, I have to become less critical, I have to become more accommodative, I have to become less complaining, I have to become more compassionate. All these things are becoming, the bonds of becoming. And in the light of this knowledge, you find there is nothing to become. The becoming is time-bound, and I am that which neither becomes nor has come into being. And this whole quest for becoming is very, very unbecoming. Yeah. So I have we'll stop here, and then, yeah. Ekabijam means the source of the universe. We talked about that. The source of the universe, Ekabijam. That's why I said we are talking of Ishvara, not Brahman, because it is the source from everything, the latent source from which everything came. Yeah. So then, what do we have? Yeah, so I'm wondering if I can exchange the next class with you. Yeah, and then we'll have satsang when? 7:30. 7:30 we'll have satsang. Okay? Yeah. You can bring questions if you have. Otherwise, don't worry, just come. We'll just have a good time. Don't feel like you have to ask questions and force yourself to ask some question and force me to answer it. So 11 o'clock, right? Yeah, 11 o'clock we will continue with, what are we continuing with? The Bhagavad Gita. We'll continue with Bhagavad Gita. This we'll pick up tomorrow, we'll finish that. So 11 o'clock we'll continue with Bhagavad Gita, and after that 4:30 will be Shivam's class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.